We're in the middle of the winter season, and with the winter weather comes winter roads as well. A lot to manage for the Road Commission for Oakland County as they keep our roads safe and clear all throughout the winter season, whether it is a torrential downpour of snow or clear outside like it is today with some ice on the roads and snow all throughout our community. Joining us to talk about how the Road Commission for Oakland County manages our roads all throughout the winter season is Craig Bryson, their Senior Communications Manager with the Road Commission for Oakland County. Craig, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Tyler. Great to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you on because this is the time of the year where we all understand that the Road Commission for Oakland County, they're hard at work, so are our cities and our villages to keep the roads clear, keep the roads safe during what's often a harsh winter season. But everyone always seems to have that question come around this time of the year too of, how does that happen? Why is this road versus that road clear versus seemingly unclear? So let's start from the start. When winter weather activity, when storm activity is expected, how does the Road Commission for Oakland County take action to get out ahead of these situations?
Well, our crews are ready to go 24/7. That's part of their job. They know the weather is coming. The mechanics work long hours to try to get the trucks ready and prevent breakdowns ahead of time. But probably the most critical thing is we have a management person whose job on a rotating basis is to watch the weather, track the weather, and decide when it's best to call out the trucks. Our goal is to have the trucks hit the roads at the same time the precipitation starts. We don't want to be out early because we put salt down, it's just blown off the road, it's wasted. It costs us about $36,000 an hour to run our crews. If they're not doing anything, that's wasted money. We don't want to be out late because we want to get the salt down as the precipitation's coming. We don't want the roads to ice up. So that person has a very daunting challenge. And as you know, the forecasts are sometimes more art than science. We have our own contracted forecast services. We have our contracted Doppler radar service. We work closely with the National Weather Association, NOAA, the National Weather Organization. We watch media weather reports and listen to those, try to gather as much information as possible and make the best informed decisions that we can. But even with all that, sometimes Mother Nature gets the best of us.
And so you got to prioritize in those scenarios where most of the people are going to be affected by these storms based on the weather forecasts or based on where people tend to frequent in our community. So how does priority play into the factor of during these storms and even just before these storms are really taking their greatest effect in the Road Commission's response to these storms?
Right. So the priority system is safety based. So our top priorities are always the roads that carry the most traffic moving at the highest speeds. So that's the freeways, that's the major surface streets. Orchard Lake Road is certainly one of those. The major mile roads. Those are our top priorities, and then we work down from there based on traffic volumes and speeds. Unfortunately, the result of that is that the subdivision streets that carry the least amount of traffic moving at the slowest speeds are going to be our lowest priority, and that's based on safety concerns.
Yeah, and so, if you're driving down Orchard Lake on one day versus another after a snowstorm, that may seem really clear. You may turn down another one of the main roads in the area, like maybe Walnut Lake in certain areas, that is more residential, especially in the weekend, like in these previous storms we've seen, and not seen them as clear. But as time progresses, as you clear those main roads, as you maintain clearing those main roads, how do those other side streets and other main roads that maybe aren't as heavily trafficked, how do those play into that priority system?
Yeah, those are definitely the next tier. The challenge we faced in storms like this is that because there was continual precipitation off and on for 4 days straight, we really couldn't get off the main roads very much. So we were forced to stay on those main roads, continue to plow them, continue to salt them, or in some cases we couldn't even salt because the temperatures were sub-zero, literally sub-zero, when salt does absolutely nothing. We had a couple of days in a row where the high temperatures were 10, 11 degrees. Salt barely works in those temperatures, so we were doing doing everything we can just to keep the main roads passable. And unfortunately, that prevented us from getting into the subs for a number of days. As soon as we're able to, as soon as opportunity allows, then we divert trucks into the subdivisions and start cleaning those up. And that operation continues today. We hope to finish all West Bloomfield subs today, but it's been a long and daunting process to get to this point.
Yeah, as we're talking to Craig Bryson on the program at the time that this interview is being conducted live, icy road conditions throughout the greater West Bloomfield area, all throughout Oakland County, as temperatures have varied over time, and that's pretty typical for a winter season to see. You know, we'll have some days that are really close to freezing or close to zero or sub-zero in our local area, some with snow, some without snow or with rain, and so all that variation can also have an impact on ice conditions in our community. So Craig, are there differences in the approach for snowier weather versus icier conditions, and how, maybe if there are those differences, how are those approached from the Road Commission?
Yeah, frankly, heavy snow is a lot easier than freezing rain and ice and sub-zero temperatures. With heavy snow, we just get every plow out and we just move that snow off the road. When we have things like, this storm started with freezing rain, which caused a layer of slush. Then the temperatures dropped to zero, which caused that slush to turn into hard pack. Then it's a whole different challenge. Trying to break up that hard pack is extremely difficult, especially when the salt doesn't work. Essentially, we were forced to use road graders to try to, which are the great big pieces of equipment that smooth the gravel roads in the summer. They're one of the few pieces of equipment that has enough torque to actually break up that hard pack and get it off the road. But we have 19 road graders countywide, 910 square miles, 3,000 miles of road we maintain, 19 road graders. Obviously, it takes a long time to get all across the county and get that hard pack broken up. We're still battling that hard pack today, including in some areas in West Bloomfield Township, because it's extremely difficult once it forms to get it up. Fortunately, the temperatures today in the last couple of days have been warm enough. The salt is helping, but that hard pack has been just a real challenge.
Craig Bryson is with us on the Splash Live, Senior Communications Manager with the Road Commission for Oakland County. You can stay updated with them on the latest conditions and information on road maintenance in our local community, rcocweb.org, which also includes links to their various social media on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook. And you've mentioned that the subdivision roads are kind of that last layer of the priority from the most heavily trafficked main roads and those other main roads throughout key areas of Oakland County. And that brings up the topic of the difference between maintenance of roads in townships and versus villages and cities. How does communication between municipalities factor in to your response during winter weather activity during the season?
Well, and you're absolutely right. Just to digress for a second, state law mandates that townships do not have jurisdiction over roads. So we have jurisdiction over roads, all roads in the townships, except the state highways, and we maintain the state highways on behalf of MDOT. So all roads, all public roads in West Bloomfield Township, we maintain. Cities and villages have jurisdiction over the local neighborhood or subdivision streets, and then we split jurisdiction of the main roads depending on what was negotiated when the municipality incorporated. We communicate frequently and closely with all of our partners in the cities and villages. We have great working relationships with them, but we also have sort of our own areas of responsibility. And we were all struggling during this last snowstorm. It was just a doozy of a storm.
Yeah, and it's really a good litmus test for garnering your understanding of how the response to the storm goes, whether it's from your local municipality to more regional government operations like the Road Commission for Oakland County. Lastly, us drivers play a big factor in that. Motorists play a big factor in how successful a response can be, both as the response is being made by the Road Commission for Oakland County or by our local city governments clearing our city streets, but also afterward from a safety standpoint. What are some of the best tips from the Road Commission for Oakland County that drivers can follow, as a storm is ongoing and the response is ongoing, and afterward when conditions may continue to be less than favorable?
Right. So the first thing, during a major storm like that, if you can stay off the roads, that would be preferred. We understand not everybody can, and we're out there trying to help those who have to be on the road. But if you can stay off during the storm itself, that'll help us get the roads cleared more quickly. Secondly, when you are driving in any inclement weather, please slow down. We see, unfortunately, way too many people driving inappropriately for the conditions. When it is snowing hard, when there is hard pack on the roads, drivers have to slow down for their own safety. We are doing everything we can to resolve those situations, but there will be times during and after major storms when the roads are not in ideal condition. And the best thing you can do is take your time, plan extra time, go slow, and be defensive in your driving, use caution. And certainly when you see the big orange plows, don't crowd the plows. Again, in this event, we had several instances where people ran into our trucks. That's never good. Those are huge steel pieces of equipment. The trucks will typically be okay. Cars will get damaged, and hopefully no injuries will result. But please don't crowd the plow. Don't try to pass a big orange snow plow on the right-hand side. Most of our plows have the wing plows that fold out from the right-hand side now, and sometimes you can't really tell from behind if that plow is out. Every year we have people running into those wing plows and damaging their cars. So, please don't do that. Please use caution.
Yeah, that extra time can really be a big factor in keeping yourself safe, keeping those that are working on our roads safe, and clearing these roads more effectively across our community so that everybody across Oakland County can have safe and clear roads this winter season. Craig, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Tyler. Appreciate it.